नहीं तेरा नशेमन कसर सुल्तानी के गुंबद पर, तू शाही है बसेरा कर पहाड़ों की चट्टानों में। नाजरीन आदाब और अस्सलाम वालेकुम, आप सबका इस्तकबाल है आज के हमारे इस शो में मुलाकात। तो आज हमारी मुलाकात होगी हाल ही में आए रिजल्ट्स के टॉपर आईएससी एग्जाम्स के। तो चलिए पूछते हैं उनसे कि वो कौन हैं, उनका नाम क्या है और उनका एक मुख्तसर तारुफ हम आपके सामने रखते हैं। जी बताइए, तो आपका नाम, आप कहाँ से हैं?
My name is Syed Wahaj Hassan. I go by Wahaj और मेरा डैड का नाम सैयद वहाज हसन है। मैं 11th और 12th सेंट जोसेफ बॉयज़ हाई स्कूल से किया हूँ और अभी रिजल्ट्स में मुझे 99.25% मिला है,
माशाल्लाह,
जो मुझे ऑल इंडिया में 3rd रैंक प्लेस करता है और कर्नाटका में 2nd प्लेस करता है।
माशाल्लाह, मुबारक हो हमारी तरफ से आपको।
थैंक यू।
हमारे नाजरीन ये जानना चाहते हैं कि आपने इतना अच्छा रिजल्ट लाया, आप जब पढ़ाई कर रहे थे पूरा साल, आपके शेड्यूल्स कैसे थे, आप कैसे पढ़ते थे?
तो मेरे लिए मैं आई कांट रियली स्टिक टू अ पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रक्चर, सो इट वाज वेरी स्पॉन्टेनियस फॉर मी. I just made a list of all the chapters that I had to do, and I made sure to keep revising them regularly, not specifically I will do this at this time or that time. It was it was just spontaneous bursts of studying, and just made sure to cover everything in a vague amount of time.
जब रिजल्ट आया कि क्या आपको एक मतलब इतना एक्सपेक्टेशन था कि आई विल बी स्कोरिंग दिस मच, या फिर?
एक्सपेक्टेशन तो था क्योंकि आई वेंट विद द इंसेंटिव ऑफ गेटिंग इनटू दिस यूनिवर्सिटी और स्कॉलरशिप भी पाने के लिए मुझे पता था कि आई हैव टू गेट दिस हाई स्कोर, सो आई प्लान्ड इट बैकवर्ड्स कि मुझे क्या करना चाहिए टू get that high score, and I expected this much. I didn't expect 99. I expected around 98, but it's great to see that I got the 99 plus.
बहुत cool. How was your reaction and reaction at your family? उसके बाद आपके स्कूल फ्रेंड्स में वहाँ कैसा रिएक्शन रहा?
Oh, everyone was elated, especially my parents. Yeah, they were all over the moon. Like they're distributing sweets every day. They're getting calls and messages. Everyone's just really happy. Everyone in my family is really proud as well, because I think this is the highest anyone in my family has scored. So everyone's just really proud, really happy. I'm happy as well. I set out a goal for myself to improve to this level, and I achieved it. So I'm really happy, really proud of myself.
Okay. ये जब आप गए स्कूल पे, आपका विजिट हुआ, तो आपके टीचर्स के साथ आपका इंटरेक्शन कैसे रहा? हाउ वाज देयर रिस्पांस ओवर दिस?
वो तो बहुत अच्छा था. एवरीवन वाज रियली प्राउड ऑफ मी. प्रॉब्लम था कि ऑनलाइन स्कूल में ज्यादा मुलाकात नहीं हुई थी ना टीचर्स के साथ. So it was really nice to see कि they were so proud. Like I had that final connection with them. I was also invited to speak at my school yesterday to my juniors. So I met all my teachers there, and they were all really happy, and they were all like, yes, we expected this from you. So it was quite nice.
तो आप बचपन से स्कूल जा रहे हैं, यू आर बेसिकली इनटू फिजिकल प्रेजेंस रहा आपकी क्लासेस में भी जब आप पढ़ाई कर रहे थे, एंड पिछले 2-3 साल से लॉकडाउन टाइप माहौल बना है, तो मेजरली वी वर ये माहौल था कि ऑनलाइन स्कूलिंग, ऑनलाइन क्लासेस. तो हाउ वाज दिस एक्सपीरियंस, ये जो शिफ्ट रहा?
Shift मेरे लिए by contrast was actually pretty good. Okay. Because with the way I study, with the way I work, online schooling worked out really well for me. Because I was able to work around my structure. क्या होता है स्कूल में, I have to go there. There's a lot of stuff that happens. I have to just give away those many hours in my day. Whereas now I have, like, school is for a shorter time, and I have a better control over my day. Okay. So it worked out well for me, and I do most of my studies, like most of the learning bit comes from me actually revising after classes. So I didn't miss out on a lot, like in terms of physically being there. But the one thing that was affected was I was in the swimming school team in my previous school. Abhi COVID आने के बाद वो एक I wasn't able to continue that.
उम्मीद है कि आगे चलते आप उसमें भी अपना जो इंटरेस्ट है उसको पूरा करेंगे.
Hopefully.
Yeah. तो ये जो शिफ्ट रहा ऑनलाइन क्लासेस को, वाज इट चैलेंजिंग आपके लिए पढ़ाई करने में? क्योंकि क्लासेस जब फिजिकली होती हैं, टीचर से आप फिजिकली मिल रहे हैं, तो आपके पास एक टाइम होता है कि यू कैन आस्क योर डाउट्स एंड देन यू कैन फ्री टाइम में आप उनसे जाके बात कर सकते हैं। तो ये जो शिफ्ट रहा, हाउ वाज इट?
In terms of doubts, my teachers were incredibly. I could reach out to them. WhatsApp पे या call करके they were available and they were really helpful. If I had any doubt, I could just message them. They would call back. They would explain it to me, or they would explain it in the next class. वो doubts का problem नहीं था. और again reiterating, मेरे लिए वो ठीक था क्योंकि I like to further research the topic after school. So I spent a lot of time on YouTube watching videos of the same classes to revise and to understand. So I didn't miss out on a lot when it comes to online classes.
तो इसके नतीजे में आप कभी ट्यूशन्स नहीं गए?
नहीं, तो 10th standard के लिए मैं गया था, और 11th standard में मैं एक केमिस्ट्री ट्यूशन के लिए गया था. बट इन 12th मैं एक प्लान बनाया था, राइट? 12th में मैं डिसाइड किया था कि मुझे किधर जाना है और किधर एडमिशन पाना है. So I decided कि if I study this much and if I prepare accordingly, I don't have to go to a tuition. अभी tuition क्या करता है? Tuition is just for you to reiterate the concepts in your head. If I can get myself to do that, then I don't need tuitions. क्योंकि फिर वापस वो एक structure में बन जाता है, then I get locked into that.
बहुत सही है. जनरली जब हर कोई 12th में जाता है, इट इज सर्टेन एज जहाँ पर जो है वी लुक फॉर एंटरटेनमेंट. आप मतलब पूरे दिन में या फिर वीकली कैसे उसके लिए टाइम निकालते थे? क्या एक सेट शेड्यूल था एंजॉयमेंट के लिए, कैसा?
हाँ, वो तो अभी 11th grade में I joined this new school, right? So I was introduced to this sudden new social life. So I got a bit distracted. On 11th grade में मैं उतना अच्छा नहीं किया था. But I needed that kicker so that 12th में सोचा कि I need to be held accountable for my responsibilities, right? But I also want to have fun. So I made sure to plan it in a way where I can have my fun. And that's one thing I'm proud to say कि I achieved this grade score while having a lot of fun. I think last year was the most fun I've ever had. So and one thing that helped me was my friend circle. I surrounded myself with people who had similar goals. So my closest friends were also aiming at these really high scores, and they also wanted to have fun. So I knew that no one would sort of bring me down or peer pressure me into the wrong things, and I could also have fun with them without having to worry.
जी, तो आप जिक्र कर रहे थे कि आप स्कूल के शेड्यूल में स्विमिंग भी शामिल था, तो इसके अलावा आपके क्या हॉबीज रहे हैं?
So I worked on a lot of side projects. Anytime I get an idea, I just work on it. So this actually helped me in my 12th grade preparation because, like I said, I work in spontaneous bursts of energy. I didn't have a particular schedule. So I had to know which chapter I was doing when and how many days had passed. So I created this little app, where I would just input anytime I studied a chapter, and it would store it there. It would log it there, and it would let me know, which chapter I haven't done in a while, or which needs more revision based on how much difficulty I rated it with. I also worked on other side projects where I have these color changing lights, right? And I use computer vision to change the color of the lights depending on how far my fingers were apart. Or I just generally just worked on random ideas that I got. Yeah, that would be it for my hobbies.
बहुत खूब. उम्मीद करता हूँ कि हमारे नाजरीन को भी जो है आपके क्रिएटिव इनोवेटिव जो प्रोजेक्ट्स रहे, आपके इंटरेस्ट हैं, उससे उन्हें भी जो है एक इंस्पिरेशन मिलेगा उनकी लाइफ में जो है कुछ परसीव करने के लिए. आपने अभी मेंशन किया कि आप बुक्स पढ़ा करते हैं, तो आप ही के हम उम्र के बच्चे जो हैं उनके लिए क्या सजेस्ट करना चाहेंगे कि कौन सी किताबें अच्छी हैं पढ़ने के लिए?
So I read this book called Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. It was basically about, again, human anthropology, how did the Homo sapiens species come to be, the history of humans. It starts off very factual, very scientific, कि ये हुआ था, ये हुआ था, ये हुआ था. But by the end of it, he goes into the psychology of it all. And he ends it off in a very beautiful note, where he goes into how we try to find happiness, how we try to find contentment in our lives. And I feel like that book really changed me a lot as a person, because I went in for the whole factual thing behind it, but I came out feeling, कि हाँ, there is more to this, and I felt better suited for facing life from there on. So I would really suggest Sapiens. And another thing I would suggest is right now audiobooks are really helpful because you may not have the patience or you may not have the time to read books or even the place. But audiobooks are like a really good solution to that. So I would really suggest getting the audiobook if that's not working out. And I also listen to a lot of podcasts. So listen to podcasts of scientists talking. It's really interesting. It really opens your mind to a lot of ideas. Scientists, psychologists, self-help people. It helps you get a better understanding of yourself as well. So also just go on YouTube and look for where your interest lies.
तो बहुत खुशी हुई ये बात जान के आप एकेडमिक जो सिलेबस है, किताबें हैं, उसके अलावा भी कुछ और पढ़ते हैं। ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग बात है कि ये जो मरहला है 12th का, इसी दौरान जो है आप अपना सिलेबस कवर भी कर रहे हैं, रिवाइज भी कर रहे हैं और साथ ही जो है दूसरी किताबें भी पढ़ रहे हैं। तो आप बता रहे थे कि आपको स्विमिंग में इंटरेस्ट है, तो इसके अलावा आपकी क्या क्या और हॉबीज़ हैं जो आप ऑलमोस्ट डेली करते थे?
और जो मेनली मेरा इंटरेस्ट था वो कोडिंग में था।
Okay.
तो आई स्पेंट अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम कोडिंग और एल्गोरिदम्स बनाने के लिए और कुछ ट्राई डिफरेंट थिंग्स बनाने के लिए। मैं एक प्रोजेक्ट में वर्क किया था कि मेरे पास एक कलर चेंजिंग लाइट्स है और मैं कंप्यूटर विजन का प्रोजेक्ट किया था कि बेस्ड ऑन हाउ फार माय फिंगर्स आर अपार्ट द कलर्स ऑफ माय लाइट्स विल चेंज। सो आई हैव जस्ट वर्कड ऑन सिमिलर प्रोजेक्ट्स लाइक दैट। और I also took part in this thing called Innovation Lab, where we had to pick a problem in society and try to work up a comprehensible solution for it. I watched a lot of videos on just psychology, science, stuff like that, and aside from that, other entertaining stuff that you find on YouTube that are a little more shallow than education videos. और बुक्स में आई रियली एंजॉय रीडिंग एंड लिसनिंग टू पॉडकास्ट या जो भी अबाउट एंथ्रोपोलॉजी, to see how civilizations came to be, how societies are made, how they ended. So the anthropology side of history. Yeah, I would say mostly that. As for sports, I play the general, but I'm good at swimming. Other sports I'm not that good at. But that's the gist of it.
तो अभी आपने एक प्रोजेक्ट का जिक्र किया, सो व्हाट आर यू प्लानिंग? तो आगे क्या पढ़ने का सोच रहे हैं, प्लान क्या है?
अभी मुझे यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ ब्रिटिश कोलंबिया में कंप्यूटर साइंस का ऑफर मिला है। माशाल्लाह। So I've always wanted to do computer science. That's where all my skills, interests, everything have aligned, luckily for me. So I'm glad that I'm able to do it at this prestigious university. Aside from that, I also want to shift some of my focus on community service. Because I barely had any, but last year जो मैं आपको अभी बोला था innovation lab के बारे में, I felt really good, like after being able to provide in some way. And even during the project we had to work on separate problems such as world hunger or gender representation in STEM fields or mental disabilities or any of those sort of things. I just felt like good on the inside. So I eventually want to direct, my focus, my skills, my interest to see how I can help in situations.
हमारे नाजरीन ये जानना चाहते हैं कि आप डेली बेसिस पे जब ऑलमोस्ट घर पे रहे, पढ़ाई भी घर पे कर रहे थे, तो घर वालों के साथ आपका इंटरेक्शन के लिए कैसा कुछ शेड्यूल बना था, कैसे करते थे?
वैसे तो कोई शेड्यूल नहीं था, जैसे मैं आपको पहले बोला था कि I didn't really study in a structure, right? I just had to get this much amount of work done in this much time. So I didn't have any problem, I didn't have to like push away events or anything क्योंकि मेरा plan already था. So I met I was having fun with everyone at home, my sister especially. So there was no such disturbance.
आखिर में आप हमारे जो व्यूअर्स हैं, तो उनमें जो आपके जूनियर्स हैं, उनके लिए क्या मैसेज देना चाहते हैं?
जूनियर्स को मैं मैसेज देना चाहता हूँ कि aside from studying, aside from the whole logistical process, the main thing is how you psychologically view this. There are 3 things I would like to say. Ki first, understand grades for what they are. Now, we all think grades are important because they are some form of identity. They say how intelligent we are or how capable we are. I would like to think that is not true. because a lot of great people have not got good grades, right? I think what grades are and why they are important is because they act as a form of currency, right? They don't have any like innate meaning, like, like currency, but they really help you. They really open your opportunities. Now, after my 11th scores, which weren't that great, I didn't have that many opportunities. I didn't plan that high. But after I picked up my pace in 12th, now that I got these good grades, I could apply to any university in the world, and they're willing to give me scholarship. I can, so it's not even that expensive. I can apply anywhere in India as well. So a lot of opportunities open up. People treat you differently, and you gain that like level of respect. So it's important to get grades, but understand that it's not a measure of your identity. So that takes away from the stress and anxiety. Second thing I would say is have incentive. A lot of times what we do is we just do things for the sake of it, right? It was not my goal to do well in 12th. That was not like my sole goal, because kyunki wo workout nahi hota tha. My goal was to get somewhere, and I knew to get to that place I have to do well in 12th. So that was my dream. Right now I can attach emotion to that dream that will make sure that I'll put in that effort to realize it. If my main goal was to get good marks in 12th, which I can't emotionally connect to, then I'll of course burn out. I won't persevere that well. So it's important to understand the why of what you're doing before you actually understand the how or what. And the third thing I would like to say is have fun while doing it. I think a lot of times what people do is, they get scared, they lock themselves in the room, study for 10 hours, 12 hours. At that point, it's not healthy, right? You're going to burn out after like a few weeks. So make sure you plan out accordingly. You try to experiment and understand yourself. Now, whatever, like you asked me, right, my schedule or whatever, I didn't like sit down one day and just make this whole thought out process. I experimented a lot. I saw how I learned. I saw how, what worked with me in my mind. So take your time, experiment, see how you would, want to approach this, what's comfortable for you. For me personally, I like to have my fun. I don't, I don't want to just lock myself in my room and just sit there. I want to be able to like have that freedom ki, I've planned a thing tomorrow, planned a lunch tomorrow. I should be able to go out, and I don't want to cancel it. So, there are few things that you would want to do as well, and make sure you structure it in a way that you can accomplish that. And yeah, I think those three things are what's important. And other than that, academically, just try to pay attention in class. What a lot of us do is, we take that for granted. But there is a lot of tips that teachers let us know, and there's a lot of things that you can actually get from class other than just the academic content, like what's their prediction of the paper or whatever. At the end of the day, this exam is an annual event, right? Like there's regularity in it, and I can say that the one holy grail of doing well is solving previous year's papers. I solved hundreds of papers before this, and I think that's where mostly I got these grades from, because I didn't study. Like I maybe studied like maybe 2 to 3 hours consistently every day, and some days I would just do 30 minutes or not even that much. But my main thing came from doing papers, because I understood what I got wrong, right? So that helped eliminate a lot of the errors. So yeah, I guess solving previous year's papers or solving your school's pre-board papers, that's the best thing you can do.
तो बहुत सारे ऐसे भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो जिनके स्कोर्स जो है इतने ज़्यादा नहीं आए, जो डिसअपॉइंटेड हैं, निराश हैं, तो उनके लिए आप कुछ मैसेज आपकी तरफ से देना चाहेंगे?
I don't want to, like, at the risk of sounding pretentious, I would say कि it's not that important. Of course, it opens up a lot of opportunities. You have a lot of things open up, but it's not the end of the world, right? It's still like 12th grade, it's still 10th grade or whatever. There's still things you can accomplish after that. And these marks only matter maybe for another year, right? Because now once I go to college, no one is going to ask me what my high school marks were, right? They will ask me what my first year marks were, second year marks were. So the importance of these are only valid for a limited amount of time. So don't like hold it as a grudge like for the rest of your life, right? And nowadays people aren't really like looking into how many marks you got or like what degree you got, right? They just care that you can show your skill. Now if I were to like try to get like an internship somewhere, I wouldn't give them my scores, right? I would give them a portfolio of what I've accomplished. If I'm trying to get into a coding internship, I wouldn't tell them, hey, I got this much in school and like these marks. I would show them, okay, I worked on this project. I know these languages in coding. Yeah, ऐसा कुछ. And a lot of attention is now going on commerce in the commerce field, where you have your crypto, you have your trading, and they don't care about your grades, right? You can you can make a lot of money, and you can like find success in those fields as well. And the third thing is in entertainment as well, especially YouTube or Twitch, right? They don't require grades as well, and a lot of like kids and a lot of young adults are really like successful through YouTube because they have a personality to show. Now they may not be very academically inclined, like they would have got 80%, 70%, but they've got a like great personality, and they've got a good idea they're putting out there, and people are here to watch, right? With the like onset of the internet, grades are not that much of a holy grail anymore, right? So there's still a lot of opportunity. It's not the end of the race. And I wish you all the best and everything that you accomplish in your own.
बहुत खुशी हुई आपसे बात करके, और हम एक बार फिर जो है चैनल की तरफ से, हमारे व्यूवर्स की तरफ से आपके सामने जो है मुबारकबाद पेश करते हैं कि आपने जो है बहुत अच्छा स्कोर किया, आपके पेरेंट्स को जो है आपने प्राउड फील कराया। तो नाजरीन, इसी शेर के साथ आज हमारी मुलाकात को हम इख्तिताम पर पहुंचाते हैं कि तू शाही है, परवाज़ है काम तेरा, तू शाही है, परवाज़ है काम तेरा, तेरे सामने आसमां और भी हैं। शुक्रिया, आदाब।